Hey, my name is Christina, and I am a homeschool mom to 5 kids. I have been homeschooling for 12 years, and I know many of you are thinking about homeschooling, and with that comes some fears, concerns, and questions. When I started homeschooling 12 years ago, my kids were 4, 2, and 6 months old, and I had all the same fears and worries that you are feeling right now. But having just completed our 12th year of homeschooling, I can say with complete confidence that yes, you can homeschool your kids. Yes, you are qualified. Yes, they will be socialized. No, you will not ruin your kids or ruin their education. So it is my goal today to help you overcome those fears because I don't want the fears to be the reason that you don't homeschool your kids. And I want you to have confidence in that ability to educate your kids because guess what? You've been doing it from the beginning. So put in some earbuds, go take a walk, take a bubble bath, and let's overcome those fears. Fear number 1, my kids won't I don't have the patience to homeschool my kids. We'll drive each other crazy. The interesting thing about homeschooling is that you will learn and grow as you go, just like with parenting. Our kids, unfortunately, aren't born with an instruction manual. We figure it out as we go along. So yes, you do have enough patience. You have enough patience to homeschool today. And whatever else is needed will come along the way. And when you do lose your patience with your kids, apologize to them, learn from it, and move on. Number 2, socializing. Oh, this is a big one for people. How do you socialize your kids? Are your kids socialized? This is a funny one to homeschoolers because when you've been homeschooling for a while, you know that there are a ton of activities for your kids and opportunities for them to be socialized. But when I first began homeschooling, this was a real fear of mine. And I even created a mom's group, and we would all come to my backyard and everybody would hang out, and that helped me, it helped me socialize with other moms too, but it also made sure that my kids were being socialized and having those activities. Fast forward 12 years down the road, and I can say with complete confidence that your kids will be as socialized as you want them to be. You are in the driver's seat of your education, of your how you homeschool, when you homeschool, what you choose to teach your kids, and how socialized they are. So if you want them to be socialized, you get to do it. I promise the opportunities and the resources are there for your kids to be well socialized. Between co-ops and your community probably has a homeschool group. They may have a co-op. They may have activities already in place. You can use online resources, online classes. There are just so many things. Then you have your kids' activities, music, dance, sports, whatever it is, will give your kids plenty of interaction with other children. The other thing that I think is important is to think outside the box on homeschooling. Traditional schools, your child is in a building surrounded by 30 other kids the same age as them, learning the same thing 7 hours every single day. This is what we consider to be well socialized. But when you're a homeschool kid, you have so many more opportunities to experience a wide range of social experiences and interactions because it only takes a few hours to homeschool your kids each day. So all that extra time is spent doing play dates, doing the activities and the things that your kids are interested in, which does interact them with other people. They can play with the neighborhood kids when they get out of school. Running errands. Take your kids along with you sometimes when you run errands. Take them to, their sibling's dentist appointment or to the grocery store or to bring a meal to a relative who just had a baby. I know you guys are cringing right now at the thought of having to bring your kids along, and you're thinking about that time that your kid had a meltdown on aisle 7 at the grocery store. But when you do it routinely, you will start to see that you and your kids figure out how to have successful outings. And in turn, they get to see the world happening. They get to see how it operates. themselves, and they get to experience it over and over. They get to see how adults interact, and how people, the different jobs and things like that. You have like career day at traditional school where all the parents come in and talk about their jobs. Well, your kid gets to go over and over. And traditional school kids, they get to do those things too. It's just that homeschool kids have more opportunity to do it. So if that is a concern of yours, I promise, be concerned about it no more, because if you put forth the effort, your child will be socialized. They will not be the oddballs, okay? All right, so let's see, number 3, which is my kids won't listen to me. They won't be motivated by me. This one is a real concern for some. I would say of my 4 kids that I'm currently homeschooling right now, only one really struggles with this. Chances are your kids will listen to you. They will do what's required of them. They will be motivated, especially if you have great motivating factors in there, like no screen time until your kids are finished, or no going out to play with the neighborhood kids until they're done. So keep those in place, and your kids will be motivated. But if you do have a child that does struggle with that, there are a few options to help you. The first one is to find someone to hold your child accountable. This could be a friend, a relative, a mentor, and basically what it looks like is they would check in with your kid at the beginning of their school day, and they would assign them math, whatever the pages are, and say, okay, I'm going to check in with you at 11 o'clock, and then they Zoom FaceTime at 11, and he checks to make sure it's completed, and then gives him the next assignment, and so on. This has been hugely helpful for my daughter in holding her accountable and has saved our relationship. The second thing is to use co-ops and outside classes to have another teacher holding your child accountable. Those can be really helpful for a child who struggles with that. The biggest thing that I would say is be consistent in your scheduling and in all of the rules that you have in place. If I say I'm going to homeschool my kids between 9 to 2, I try to stick to that as much as possible. Of course, I don't want to be confined to that, and if Grandma comes over for an hour during the day, we'll break from school, or if we have a spontaneous field trip, yeah, we'll go. But we do try to keep the routine going, the structure. That way, it just helps everybody stay on track and keeps them motivated. I have a rule where my kids do not have screen time. They are not allowed to go play with the neighborhood kids until their schoolwork is completed. This is a huge motivating factor, but I have to be consistent with it. As soon as I give in, they start to take advantage of me. So be consistent, and also make the rules ahead of time, and then share them with the whole family. So have a family meeting and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what this is going to look like. That way there's no surprises, and everybody's on the same page. Number 4, I think that this is a big one for moms who currently have children in school. How do you get it all done without becoming overwhelmed? And can I give up those 7 hours that I had every single day to get the house cleaned, go out to lunch with a friend, exercise, run all the errands? But just like with anything else, you adjust to it. I would say this is probably maybe one of the very few cons to homeschooling. Yes, your kids are with you all the time, but you already spend summer breaks with them. You spend your holiday breaks to them. You will get used to it, adapt, and before you know it, you won't even think twice about it. But you do have to make some adjustments. You do need time to yourself. You do need time to think and to get away. So make sure that you do have that in place. My mom watches my kids for a few hours every single week, so I can count on that time to get things done or to just have time to myself. If you don't have family who could do this, then maybe you could trade with a friend or a homeschool friend. You guys can trade, and you could hire a babysitter to come in a day or 2 a week and go and shut yourself in your bedroom and watch a movie, or go out to lunch with some friends. Maybe have your husband, ask him to put the kids to bed while you go take a bubble bath, or take walks in the evening, or find a fitness class in the evening. Find ways to take care of yourself, and you'll be fine. And the last one is number 5. Am I qualified to homeschool my kids? Every state has different homeschooling requirements, so a quick Google search will help you discover what the requirements are for your state. You can also go to hslda.org/legal, and that's a great resource. They have every state's requirements listed on that page. Only 11 states require you to have a high school diploma or a GED. And of those 11, only one, Washington, requires some sort of college credits. The other 39 have no requirements for your parenting, for their educational background. What does that mean? Well, so if you are feeling unqualified because you didn't go to college or you don't have that degree in teaching, it's okay. You are qualified to teach your kids. Do you love your kids more than anyone else on this planet? And do you want to provide a loving, nurturing education for them to help prepare them for adulthood? If you answer yes to these questions, then yes, you are qualified to homeschool your kids. Well, that concludes our 5 fears of homeschooling. I hope that I have helped alleviate some of those concerns and those questions and those fears. Is homeschooling hard? Sure, just like with parenting, there are good, awesome light bulb moment days, and then there are bad looking out the window for the shiny yellow school bus days. But it is worth it, and you can do it. You are capable. Put on that superhero cape because you can be an awesome homeschooler. Take care.